जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः. Mukherjee with a smile. How can God have any will? Does he lack anything? Master with a smile. What's wrong in that? Water is water, whether it is still or in waves. The snake is a snake, whether it's coiled up, motionless, or wriggles along. A man is the same man, whether sitting still or engaged in action. Now, the two aspects of God. We know one, His transcendental identity which remains unchanged. His manifested identity that goes on changing according to times. Now, even avatara, according to the changing time, when slowly we see the dharma, the nature's laws to be followed by humans are declining, values and ideals are declining in society, in human society, and then adharma, injustice, unrighteousness, all these are increasing, which is beyond the control of man and beyond the control of the king and beyond the control of nature. Then God has to descend. That is called avatara. From one avatara to another avatara, lot of changes. And for sake of one devotee, he can incarnate himself with form or without form or in a particular form the devotee wishes. Now, suppose a devotee like Meera, she be aspiring for a particular aspect of God, the Krishna's form. For hers alone sake, the God descends, appears, projects himself. He is all pervading and he is unlimited. Like the all pervading television waves are presenting through a particular set, TV set. It is the channels are all pervading, but through that doesn't make the electromagnetic waves of the channels as channels. It doesn't get exhausted, emptied. It continues. Hundreds you put also, it continues. It is inexhaustible. So, because it is spent, it doesn't get, it's avyaya. Now, suppose a teacher is going on teaching from morning till night. Do we think any time that from morning his brain must have got exhausted, all knowledge must have been over there? No. It is perennial store. It goes on coming without end. Like that, God's manifestations do not make God exhaust in its absolute existence. It continues to be there. And He is any way He wills, it doesn't limit Him, or because of limitation He is not doing. It is needs and demands of the devotees, needs and demands of the time that makes him behave in a particular way. How can you eliminate from the reality the universe and its living beings? If you do that, it will lack its full weight. You cannot find out the total weight of a bell fruit if you examine the seeds and shell. Eliminate the seeds and shell. Now, the world and divine play is a part of God. The divine play is a part of God. World is a part of God. And you cannot eliminate this. God doesn't need. You cannot say God needs. God needs to fulfill the desires of His devotees. God needs to attend to the demands of time. So, God is Paripurna. He will not participate in the world, it is not there. He does participate. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, bell fruit, essence is different. If you leave this shell and seeds as not the flesh, then it doesn't show the act. Though it is the essence, that alone we eat. We throw away the shell, we throw away the seed, but it doesn't give the total weight of the fruit. Some part is left out. Mukherjee. Why does one deviate from path of yoga? Here he comes again. Ramakrishna told, the path of yoga, you must have been a person who was a yogi and you could not finish the journey in previous life. Master, as the saying goes, in mother's womb I was in the state of yoga. Coming into the world, I have eaten its clay. The midwife has cut one shackle, the navel cord. But how shall I cut the shackle of Maya? In mother's womb, I was in a state of yoga. Coming to the world, I have eaten its clay. Water of rainwater, when it falls from the sky, it is pure water. Water has got evaporated and become cloud. Pure water vapor which has become cloud is falling down again on the earth as fresh fine water. If you hold a drop of water from sky, it is so pure, and the moment it touches the ground, it becomes dirty. Immediately, the moment it touches the earth, it has already acquired the it was not there in water, but dirt was there in the place where it fell. From the same place, it might again become cloud, water vapor cloud, but you see, it has already, the moment it touches, as long as it is in contact with the earth, it is dirty. When it flows, it goes on acquiring more and more. We were in the state of yoga in the mother's womb, united with God. But the moment we came out to the world, we acquire the property and nature of the place where we are placed. Stage by stage, we get influenced by the external. Apart from that, we have come with certain internal dirt also. Nature also has presented certain things. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. Nature's drive is there. Our own creation out of our own tendencies went on acquiring that nature and became a craving in me apart from nature's drive. Certain things become a craving, a disease like, a habit like addiction, and it remains in us. So all these collectively make us turn away from God into the world, and we become worldly. How can I cut the shackles of Maya? Maya is nothing but woman and gold. A man attains yoga when he has freed his mind from these two. The self, the supreme self, is the magnet. The individual self is the needle. The individual self experiences the state of yoga when it is attracted by the supreme self to itself. But the magnet cannot attract the needle if the needle is covered with clay. It can draw the needle only when it is removed. Clay is removed. The day woman and gold must be removed. The clay of woman and gold must be removed. This dissociation from what binds us to the world, the binding has to be released. Now, few things what we observe in our life is that something, there is nothing is wrong in the objective world outside. Inside there is a craving. Inside feeling abhava, lack of something. When a person tries to possess something, he is lacking that. Someone, if they are artificially decorating their body or anything, they inside them is the understanding, I am not beautiful, I am not smart. The inner awareness that I am not beautiful try to make me beautiful and present to the world. Inside I am slowly guilty and means I am rotting from within, and outer glory I am showing to the world. This inner abhava is making polish the external body. Now the inner awareness and guilt doesn't allow to mix freely with men of wisdom, people of wisdom, noble people. They cannot face because that inner guilt is there. I am artificially presenting myself. Even talk, if it is not coming from heart, it becomes artificial. They will talk with all other people who belong to a lower understanding. But when people of wisdom and noble people come, they run away, they shrink, they hide, they don't face them because the words do not carry any weightage. There is no reality in it. To speak something, you speak. Like that, whatever is inner abhava, I am trying to fulfill through the external means. That makes a great difference. That is now Maya. I am holding on to certain things, enjoyments and possessions, because I am lacking within. A few small amount of money, a small amount of some support, people, grandson must be there with me. These small things I am holding on because I have not held a powerful hope. What can make me, give me freedom? What can give me internal joy I am not holding on to? So small things of the external. Inner abhava, the dearth within is expressed through holdings to the world. Now, this hold obstructs the release. I am holding on to something, a small thing. My vehicle has to go. I am sitting on a motorcycle. One place, somewhere, only one string is tied to the window. It cannot move. A thin rope I have tied to the just last portion of the motorcycle, its carrier. It will not move. Whole motorcycle is free. It is a hold which doesn't allow. I am holding the world in any way. I cannot progress in spiritual life. The hold has to be released. Things will be with me. I am using it. But mindness becomes the hold. It belongs to God. God is the way in which we release ourselves from all these things. Brahman is unattached. One finds good and bad smells in the air, but air itself is unstained, untainted. Brahman and Shakti are identical. It is the primordial power that has become the world and all living beings. Brahman is unattached. One finds good and bad. Nothing can stain Brahman, nor tempt Brahman or anything. It is paripurna. It is which cannot be explained because time, space and causation are not there. There is no matter. It's the ocean of bliss. There is no duality. If there is no duality, it is ocean of bliss. Ananda. Alone. And when a jiva enters into Brahmanhood and still maintains his separateness from Brahman to experience Brahman, it will be like a ice ball floating in ocean and experiencing the joy. It is ocean of bliss, peace, love, absolute. It is paripurna. At the same time, there is no duality. This and that, here and there, then and now. No duality. One without a second. So, it is Brahman is unattached. Another aspect is universe appears it from itself. But it doesn't affect it. Like the smell in the air, Sri Ramakrishna is telling. It is carrying smell, but it is unaffected. Smell is not binding it, nor it is bound by smell. It is there, it carries the smell, goes on living, and unaffected it moves. Like a mirror in an image. Image in a mirror. Now, there is an image in a mirror, and image is moving about. But it doesn't affect the, suppose a vehicle is going in the front, is jumping about. Its image is there in the mirror, but mirror doesn't get affected by the movements of the image. It remains unaffected. So, like that, then fire in space. Space has given room for fire to exist, but it cannot burn. Fire cannot burn space, it burns everything. Like that, it remains unaffected and it doesn't instigate it to work or do, and space never instigates fire to burn, nor participates in its burning. It is there unaffected. It cannot harm, that cannot harm. They are together without affecting each other. Brahman is like that. universe, all beings are in him, but he is not limited or affected by their presence. That unattached. Similarly, a man of self-realization, moving about in the world, doing all activities of the world, remains unattached to it, unaffected by it. One finds good and bad smells in the air, but the air itself untainted. Brahman and Shakti are identical. It is the primordial power that becomes the universe and all beings in it. The whole world, universe which we see, is energy becoming matter. The consciousness bears energy, energy becomes matter. Matter and energy are convertible. Energy manifests as matter. Energy is usually in Brahman, when the universe dissolves, the energy is in dissolved state. There is no two. The energy is latent in Brahman. Then, when the time of creation comes, it becomes potent. Latent becomes potent. Potential energy. Potential energy. The Brahman has three powers. This energy bears three powers: Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. It can, consciousness means it can think, it can choose, it can act, it can will, it can act. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana. It can know. These powers make the potent energy, Shakti, dynamic. Latent becomes potent, potent becomes dynamic. With the dynamic, it starts advancing. With the advancement begins the time-space continuum. Time-space continuum is energy precipitating as matter. Time comes into picture, there is movement. Space comes into picture, there is matter. So matter and how the energy is getting converted into matter, you see. So for matter to exist, there is space is necessary. One by one, layers of presence. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi, 5 elements present. Because these 5 elements pertain to the 5 senses with which we are perceiving the universe. This is all. The whole perception, what we see world is what our 5 senses predict and what mind conceives out of it. And that what these 5 senses present is the universe that we see. And they emerge from 5 elements. The whole universe is of these 5 elements in the various combination. Therefore it is called Prapancha, made of the 5 elements. 5 elements pertain to 5 senses. That whole world what we see is only through 5 senses. Beyond it we are not seeing. Beyond it to see, you have to go beyond mind and senses. It is primordial power that has become the world and all beings. Mukherjee, why does one deviate from the path of yoga? Then he says the Maya. Maya is nothing but woman and gold. A man attains yoga when he is free from it. The self, the supreme self, is the magnet. The individual self is needle. The individual self experiences the state of yoga when it is attracted by Supreme Self to itself. But the magnet cannot attract the needle if the needle is covered with clay. It can draw needle only when the clay is removed. The clay of woman and gold must be removed. Mukherjee. How can one remove it? Master, weep for God with a longing heart. Weep for God with a longing heart. Tears shed for Him will wash away the clay. When you have thus freed yourself from impurity, you will be attracted by the magnet. Only then you attain yoga. Weep for God with a longing heart. Mind and intellect should not interfere in prayer. It goes on calculating how long did I do, how much I do. All this recording will be going on. After 15 days, he said, I have prayed every day, 2 years, 2 hours, 3 hours. Mind is already calculating what I am going to get, how much I am going to get, everything. There is no, in prayer, in spiritual practices, there is no input-output. It is exposure of the heart for God to enter and occupy. It is dissolution of ego. Ego is sitting in the heart. All others are things you need not worry about. But unless the heart is empty, only the obstruction in the heart that we find is our own ego obstructing the divine manifesting there. So that prayer has to come from the depths of your being, heart. If it comes from mind, it becomes a business. I am paying, I am getting back as if. And when this enters, you will not get spiritual benefits or secular benefits, and which is going to again make you entangled in the world. So it must come from the depths of your heart with a longing heart. Heart must be longing for God, because if we long from any other aspect, if body longs, if mind longs, if intellect longs, all this will fail. Heart longs, it will attain. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhritavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamedhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha.